What is up, everybody? Coach Kyle here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for future content notifications. Hit that bell button. Look back at old videos. There's a bunch of them. And if you find this topic especially helpful or interesting, or if you know somebody who will, please share it. We're going to talk about a very confusing subject, but hopefully this makes it a little more clear. And the question is, how many sets of weightlifting should you do if you want to increase your muscle strength, size, or endurance? So very confusing subject. If you Google it, you click a dozen different articles, you'll probably find a dozen different guidelines. So things to consider are that the study I'm going to talk about uses 8 to 12 reps going to failure. So that means reps are individual, the movement. Sets are like 3 sets of 10 reps would be 3 sets of 10 reps. Going to failure means that you can't, so 1, 2, if my third one's failure, I can't quite get it up, that would be failure. 1 rep max is the maximum amount of weight you can move with 1 single rep. So the study that I want to talk about here, again, it uses 8 to 12 reps, and they adjusted the weights. The researchers adjusted the weights to make sure the 34 trained male participants, so these were male participants that were already doing habitual strength work, they made sure that they reached failure between 8 and 12 reps. So what I'm about to say might not be true if you're only doing 3 to 5 reps to failure, or if you're doing more reps to failure. It might not be true. If you're an untrained individual, if you have not done any strength work, what I'm about to say might not be true. If you're a woman, it might not be true. I would wager to say that it probably is. If you're a female who's been habitually doing strength work, it's probably the same. If you're 65 years old, it might not be true. So these are middle-aged, maybe younger male participants. So what they did, I thought it was a well-done study, other than they only had, I think, 10 or 11 participants per group. But they broke up 34 men into 3 groups. And what they were doing was, the only difference in their routine was that group 1 was doing 1 set, the second group was doing 3 sets, and the third group was doing 5 sets to failure in that 8 to 12 rep range. And I took some notes here. So they assessed muscle endurance. So let's see. 1 rep max with the bench and squat plus muscular endurance was assessed, with the number of bench reps able to complete at 50% of their maximum 1 rep max. And then muscle size was tracked in 4 different parts of the body. And what they found was that for maximum strength and maximum endurance, it didn't really matter if you did 1 set, 3 sets, or 5 sets. So if you want to increase your muscle strength and endurance, doing 1 set of 8 to 12 reps to failure yielded the same results, and they were good results too, but there was no difference between 1 set and 5 sets. So if you really love spending an hour in the gym, do 5 sets. But if you're doing 8 to 12 reps to failure, doing 5 sets is probably not going to be any more beneficial to you than doing 1 set. So you only have to do 1 set. So that was for maximum strength and endurance. But for size, there was a dose-response relationship, which found that the higher the volume of the workout, the higher the muscle volume was the result. So if you want to increase your muscular size, doing 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps to failure is probably going to be the most beneficial. So doing 1 set you'll improve, but not as much as if you do 3 or 5 sets. And of course, this isn't saying if you do 10 sets you'll improve more. They didn't go that far, but they found that 5 was better than 3 than 1. So take it for what it's worth. As for me, I love the fact that one set is fine because most runners don't want to spend an hour in the gym. This workout doesn't take long. I'll put it in the links below. I'll put the workout in the comment or in the notes below, and you can check that out. But for most runners, they don't want to spend a ton of time in the gym. So and I use a pretty similar routine as this with my own athletes for their home workouts. Most of them just have some weights, some dumbbells at home, and they can do 8 to 12 reps pretty consistently to failure with a pretty minimal exercise catalog in their garage, or mine's in my spare bedroom. So check out below for the actual routine they used, and let me know what you think. I think this is great. This is just one study. It had 34 male participants, but this is something that has been repeated over time. So I think it's probably pretty safe to go with one set of all these exercises, and you can modify it slightly, of course. One set of 8 to 12 reps to failure should be good. So as always, you keep running, and I'll keep coaching.